Hi, this is part three of our cry for help. We must tell you, we are exhausted already
Very.
because this is about the seventh time that we're trying to do part three. It's either our words get frozen on YouTube and you can't hear all our words, or there's a lot of background noise in the back, or we put our text and our tags on after we do the video, and our tag words are obliterated with our text, and we have to keep on redoing it and redoing it and redoing it and redoing it. This is the story of our life. Everything is fraud in our life. Nothing is legitimate. And we have to battle these forces all the time, and we cannot take it any longer. Also, what I want to report before Joe continues with the narrative of a cry for help, we haven't received any comments, which is very unusual. Not one comment. When we did it before with a group, we also didn't receive comments, except for the very first time we did receive comments, and then we couldn't see them after that. There were people who were interested, wanted to follow our case, and wanted evidence, and will gladly give evidence, and will gladly answer all comments, but we don't get any. That's why we gave our phone number, which is 802-236-5799. I just have to say again, Tom Flood of Richland Management, Terry Frisone, Mario Tuszco, the superintendent of the building, who has his wire connected to an apartment, which is most likely his, okay, and that's how he hacks our computer, which you'll thoroughly understand once we complete our myriad of videos to you. And because of this, we have to keep on redoing our YouTube, because he tries every which way to destroy our YouTube videos, so we cannot expose this lethal corruption, okay, to the world. So please listen to us and please help us. And we're starting to get some background noise, so we have to talk very loud.
As I was saying from my previous video, I was talking about the blacklisting. Okay, this blacklisting, which we are unlawfully and sadistically placed on, is recklessly and deliberately intended to kill us. The constant, unabated fear, terror, and trauma we are left to endure makes our existence on earth a living nightmare. It is amazing that we are still alive today. Each day of our life is a horrific battle, as we must fight on our own this deadly conspiracy. Yes, we are crying for the people of the world to help us. This nightmare existence we are living took an overwhelming toll on us. We cannot battle this nefarious corruptive forces any longer. We need humanity to return to our lives, the laws reinstated in our lives. We need democracy and our American way of life restored back to us. Please help us, because this is our cry for help. This horrific predicament that we are entrapped in and are suffering for 8 long years was malevolently schemed and orchestrated by Phyllis Leinwand. This individual is a principal in name only at PS 66, which is a public school located in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York. Susan was a school teacher. She taught in the New York City Department of Education for over 21 years. In September of 1995, Susan was transferred to PS 66. Susan's former principals, other administrators, teachers, parents, and students admired her and commended Susan's creative teaching abilities. Susan loved the children and loved to teach. Her creativity of using different puppets to teach the curriculum was highly recognized and praised throughout the school and the school community. Phyllis Leinwand became principal at PS 66 in the school year of 2001. Many disturbing events happened from 2001 to 2004. In the school year 2003 to 2004, Phyllis Leinwand started a malicious campaign. She created a hostile work environment that became so severe that our psychologist, Dr. Victor DeFazio, demanded for Susan not to return to school for fear of suffering physical and mental repercussions due to the severe malevolent action of his principal. Susan tried her best to immerse herself with the children, but the love for the children was no longer helping Susan to overcome the malignant action of his principal. Phyllis Leinwand schemed every conceivable way to destroy Susan from pursuing a highly successful teaching career. In February 2004, Dr. DeFazio submitted all the proper legal medical letters and documents supporting the hostile work environment committed by this principal to the New York City Department of Education Medical Bureau. At the onset of the serious medical letters and documents sent, Phyllis Leinwand went on a rampage, committing chaos and havoc to her life. She immediately, outrageously, and unconscionably usurped her powers. She unlawfully wrote a letter to Susan informing her that her direct deposit was suspended at her personal bank account, which was linked to her salary received from the New York City Department of Education.
Can I say something here?
Yes, go ahead, Susan.
How can someone suspend your direct deposit?
Nobody can, except you.
No, that's right. This was the beginning of Phyllis Leinwand taking control of our finances. She, first of all, wrote me a letter. I have it to prove. We are suspending your direct deposit. Very truly yours, Phyllis Leinwand. Then she ordered the New York City payroll to withdraw my salary that I worked for out of my personal checking account. So at that time, I did everything conceivable to get her for this bank fraud she committed. I told the bank, I made a lawsuit, I went to so many governmental agencies, the district attorney. And what happened? No one did anything. They were about to do it until we mentioned our names, Susan and Joseph Tropeano and Phyllis Leinwand. Well, when we mentioned our names, Susan and Joseph Tropeano, everything changed. All of a sudden, everyone says, sorry, we can't help you, and if you try to call this office again, or if you come to this office again, we will get you arrested. This is what happens
Unbelievable.
every moment of our lives. So we are expected to live with these heinous crimes and illicit activities until we die.
Anyway, as Susan said, this principal, she unlawfully directed New York City payroll to withdraw her salary from a personal checking account. On top of it, she unlawfully suspended all my wife's medical benefits and salary.
Okay, stop again.
Yeah.
When she suspended my medical benefits,
That's right.
this is the very beginning of the medical corruption.
Yes, very beginning. This what started all.
My husband was covered under my medical benefits also. All of a sudden, I don't have my medical benefits any longer.
Vanished.
It just went away.
Yeah.
Just like today. I pay high amounts for medical benefits, although I have a pension and we get free benefits, but my pension has been racketeered with, thanks to Phyllis Leinwand. Okay? I pay for medical benefits, but I can't use it because I can't see doctors, I can't get prescriptions, I can't have a pharmacist, I cannot use home delivery services because if one of them does something correctly, the next one does illicit activities. Or they all do illicit activities. I mean, it's horrific. And we got proof of everything. Documents, tape recordings. It's outrageous. And we are beside ourselves. And that's why we are crying for help.
To continue, with this malevolent mission of Phyllis Leinwand, she ignored all medical letters and documents written by our psychologists and other doctors as well, who substantiated Dr. DeFazio's orders for Susan not to return to school due to the severe hostile work environment.
Joe, please don't go fast. We're having that noise again.
Upon immediately receiving these medical letters and documents...
Joe, don't you see what he's doing?
Yes, okay. We have to talk over this noise. The principal unlawfully placed my wife on an immediate AWOL. From the very first day that my wife was instructed by her doctors not to return to school. AWOL means that a teacher just left school for no reason. Okay? AWOL is like a soldier. He just leaves his pack, he just leaves his troops, he just goes away. That's the same thing that supposedly that Phyllis Leinwand was referring to. Meanwhile, all the medical documents were submitted from day one, and religiously, every 3 months, medical forms are also submitted.
I have to stop here. This is what's happening because Mario Tuszco is connected to our apartment and our internet. We're getting, as we're talking, our microphone is going into the red zone. Okay? He's trying to make every conceivable noise so we are not heard. And we're sitting here beside ourselves.
Anyway, just to continue. All these atrocious, serious wrongdoing committed by this power-driven principal were internal. The superintendent was never aware of the illicit activities taking place. As a result of the severe hostile work environment suffered by Susan, Dr. DeFazio informed us that Susan is entitled to a line-of-duty injury. Dr. DeFazio filed all the necessary medical documents for the line-of-duty injury required by the New York City Department of Education. When these documents are filed, it is the duty of the superintendent of school, just like I said, the superintendent never got involved, to investigate the line-of-duty injury. However, this never occurred. Instead, all the surreal unlawfulness schemed by Phyllis Leinwand remained internal.
And this internal remains to this very day. Our bank account was robbed at Chase Bank in Great Neck, New York. The bank refuses to investigate it. They said it's internal. We were held hostage in the bank. The bank refuses to investigate. We were held hostage by police officer Camarado of Manhasset Police and O'Terry. And Camarado dragged me in the bank. The bank refuses not only to not investigate, they refuse to produce the cameras.
Exactly.
Also, we have evidence that Phyllis Leinwand withdrew $200 from our personal bank account at Chase Bank, where they refused to produce the cameras. Another $16,000 was taken out of our Chase Bank for 8 days, held by a corrupted source. And Chase Bank refuses to do anything about it. And of course, we don't have the police either. The police are part of it. They were in the bank with the Colt that came in and closed the doors on us and held us hostage there. And then police officer Camarado dragged me across the bank floor. Okay? and I'm lucky to be alive. This is just one of the police brutalities I have experienced. And we're going to stop here. We hope you listen and just ignore the noise of this lethal corruption that is trying their best not to expose this video.
And we'll get back to you with part 4. Thank you for listening.